the other player taking out one of the best Terran players in Korea in Beyond. Don't really think we were able to mention that, but yeah, Sola actually had a pretty impressive result so far already. Taking out Firefly 2-0, taking out Beyond 2-0, and taking out Hero 2-0. He has
Ooh.
not dropped a single map so far.
Man, he is bright like the sun. He is on fire and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice. Here he is in this best of 5 grand finals, representing On-Side Gaming. It is Solar.
And spawning over here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have a blue Terran player coming out from the land of China. He, of course, is going to be representing KZ Gaming. KZG. He is Time.
That's just reminding everyone in the chat as well. Predictions are open. Place your bets. Is it going to be the Chinese Terran or the South Korean Zerg player? Time has already had the run of his life right now, taking down so many heavy hitters from multiple different races. Oh, but now his final test before him. A Korean Zerg player who has a more European approach to the matchup.
Yeah. Pretty notorious about that. He is very, very, very active in a lot of the whatchamacallit, drawing boards. Is that what they're called? A lot of group chats and whatnot with the other Zerg players. Think tanks, yeah, the Zerg think tanks.
The Hive Mind.
Hive Mind. I wanna make a think tank called the Hive Mind now.
There you go.
I don't have the money to do that, but.
Oh god, yeah.
It'll be about bees.
Sola, due to his excellent English, he does have quite a good connection with a lot of the other players out in the world, and as a result, he is also quite fond of their styles more often than not. When you compare Solar to Rogue or Dark, he is a little bit less aggressive compared to them.
Yeah, especially since those styles tend to work pretty well against Protoss, which is his least favorite matchup. But yeah, I guess thankfully he doesn't have to worry about that for now. Tis a much more well, I was gonna say much more comfortable matchup for him, but I think we do have a tally on solar nukes at this point.
Look, we don't have to talk about that. We don't gotta bring up.
I'm sure he'd appreciate it if we don't. Yeah.
Yeah, feels bad, man. Feels bad. But for the time being, we do see that Time is doing what he does best. He's going for his 3cc Banshee opener here back at home. We've seen it time and time again against both Rex and Dark, so he's not switching what isn't broken. It seems like this is just his comfort zone.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did I do?
What Paynon did time and time again. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, it's about, I think, what we're expecting here from a Time versus Solar match. Probably one of the most standard, matches, one of the most standard TVZs that we're going to be seeing. But standard aggression, right? We're going to have open economic openers. We're going to have macro games, but I don't think either player is going to want to be too passive here.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see kind of how passive the players are, how aggressive they are instead for the time being. Solar just droning on up, getting fully saturated on these 3 bases, ready to receive what comes his way, ready to prepare for the oncoming Hellions, as he is fully aware of the 1-1-1 opener, as he does have eyes on the Hellions. Hasn't gone into the main though. The Overlord is just on the way now.
Yeah, dipping on in. We do see a Viking first coming out from Time. So yeah, he is looking to try to deny a little bit of scouting here. I imagine he's still going to be committed to the Banshees, but he probably just wants to clear Overlords where we can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we go. Overlord is going to be denied here. Solar is going to be able to get some scouting information, though. Is going to confirm the 3rd CC. He's going to also see the Tech Lab researching as well, and will be able to confirm the Banshees on the way.
Yeah. And in his mind, you know, it could be a fake out, but it probably isn't. So, yeah, no matter what, he's just gonna get his queens out. He's probably gonna get a couple of spores once he can spare it. Double Evo pretty early on, though.
Yeah, there's that double Evo chamber. Again, very different to how Dark plays, for example. Solar is more willing to delay his lair timing for upgrades so he can go toe-to-toe with his Ling Bane. Again, a little bit more longevity with the army of Solar.
Prefect sack a creep. That's all I was looking to bring down, but I mean, it's all lined up. These Hellions. Oh, if they get in position.
Oh boy. Yeah,
I clean it up. I see it so clearly with my Terran eyes. Hyperflight rotors coming out from time.
Oh my god, he's throwing
This is the Marumek! He's doing the Marumek!
Oh my god, he's disgusting. A very mobile kind of mech, by the way, as here we go. The Hellions are going to be looking to dive on in here. A lot of Hellions available, and they're trying to get on top of this queen. We do have a bit of a transfuse. We'll keep it alive for the time being here. But with these two more factories, I do imagine he's going to be getting the Cyclones into that Banshee.
Oh yeah, Battle Mech is, I think, what they called it way back in the past. You really have two options with these Banshees. You can either get a bunch of them and have them support the Cyclones, or you get a bunch of them and you sneak up on a base, take it out, and with Hyperflight rotors, evacuate before the Zerg opponent can really get into position with any unit.
This is about the surprise factor. You know, this has to remain hidden, but at the same time, a massive Ling run by avoids all of these Hellions. They get 7 SCV kills already. A lot of damage being done here and a lot of pressure alleviated from Solar. He is able to establish himself here in the middle of the map, is able to keep spreading that creep.
Yeah, spreading that creep, securing that fourth base. Cloak did finish up a little while earlier, but it is only 2 Banshees that's all it needs to worry about for now.
For now. Thankfully, we do have a Spire on the way. Looking at the vision here, I think he has recognized, yeah, the abundance of Hellions and recognized, hold on, there's more than there really should be. We have a Roach Warrior for that mech as well. So he is responding quite nicely, but I'm sure he really is not expecting the Mass Banshee. Until now.
Yeah, he sees, he confirms, that's 1 more Banshee than is normal, and wait a minute, are they moving a little bit quicker? No.
No.
But they are.
Well, thankfully for Solar, we only have 3 Banshees available here. Not too many. It's not like we went into double starport production, so Solar can respond. He's probably going to go into Mutas or Corruptors from here. Another massive Ling run by, and time leaves the door open. Ooh.
Oh, closes it right at the end here. Just before it was going to be a problem, but there's still a very massive opening here. By that third base location, the tank actually causing a bit of friendly fire on top of the SCVs. Hellions were pulled back, but weren't quite in position to take out the Lings, at least not before they took out 12 SCVs.
Yeah, again, time is being pulled apart right now. Every single time he moves out with his Hellions, we have a Ling counterattack. We even have more Lings here towards the southern end of the map as well, and he's just been losing so many workers, so many SCVs, and he just hasn't gotten any momentum.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to fight back right now. Bloom Flame is starting, but we do have Roaches coming out here. And I think the plan originally for Solar was to just go Mass Muta, but once he realized it was mech, he switched gears a little bit. You got that Roach Warren, and yeah, he's making sure he's not going to get caught with his pants down.
Yeah, exactly, and he is not. He just took down 2 tanks. He's getting into the mineral line as well. What do we have to defend? Lings are being caught, intercepted by these Hellions, and the Thors are rotating over, but Thors, they're thick, they're quite chunky, and they're slow as well. They are having a hard... They cannot keep up with the Mutas.
Not at all. A missile turret goes down, and things are getting from bad to worse here for time. Not hopeless yet, though.
Not hopeless yet, but I believe even...
pretty close to there.
Yeah, the Banshees across the map were cleaned up as well. The Mutas are still going ham in the main base, taking 20 SCVs with them. And Solar's gotten to the point where he can just keep making units. He is droned up to 84 workers.
Yeah, that's just about all he wants in this late game scenario. A little bit less than normal for a ZvT, but of course, considering the circumstance, he needs to have a little bit more supply open for these Roaches.
Yeah, switching into that Mass Roach Ravager. The Mutas have served their purpose. They've killed tanks, they've forced the army to stay at home, and they've dealt insane worker damage.
I want to say it was super important to take out those tanks as well earlier on because of the fact that, you know, Time was getting a couple of these Thors to deal with these Mutas. That left the door open. That meant that Solar didn't have to worry about tanks coming up on him for a little while. He was able to apply as much pressure as possible with his ground army, and we're getting to the point where Solar's maxed out and looking to make use of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, now Time just has to defend, but at the same time, we have a Bailing Run by coming in, and there's no reaction!
Oh, wall is not a wall. Great multitasking coming out here from Solar, just being able to really stretch the attention of Time so thin. He's not going to win the fight here, or the battle here, but he's winning the overall logistics.
The war. He is here, as we do see Time just being stretched thin at this point, trying to defend both his third base and the fourth. We do see Solar just forcing his way up this ramp. The choke point is quite brutal, and it looks like he won't be able to make his way up here yet, but once again, just trading a little bit off here, and here we go. He's really rounding out his army. We have Vipers on the way. Spire turning into a greater Spire. We have Adrenal Glands. It's going to be almost impossible for Time to take a fifth base, let alone even hold on to his current bases.
Yeah, so looking to clear up a little bit of supply here. Needs to be very worried not to overextend, which is exactly what he does. I mean, he has a lot of larvae. He had a massive bank. He can remake his units, but there is a window of opportunity for Time to establish himself. Not quite push across the map. You know, if this was Moondance, then maybe he could do that, but he does have a chance to just get some breathing room now, establish a fifth base.
Yeah, and I think that trade may have been worth it anyway for Solar, just because he did pretty much reset the tank count. Solar doesn't have a bank, so he has to be careful about how he trades. He also doesn't have a lot of bases either. He has full map control. There's no reason for him not to double expand right now. Like, he needs the larva, and he needs to make sure he is consistently mining as efficiently as possible. Otherwise, if he takes one fight too poorly, things can snowball.
Yeah, and I mean, just looking at the upgrades right now, like, because honestly, I could not believe that Solar is still trying to get 2-2, while Time is about to finish up 3-3.
Oh, exactly.
Or it's about halfway done for him.
Yeah, it just goes to show how insane the macro of Time is and how he can go toe-to-toe and on par with that of Solar. Solar was a little bit too concerned with taking up, less so on his upgrades. So as a result, his main army is going to be that much weaker here. I'm sure right now he's hoping to fight in the middle of the map. Like, that's kind of where his strengths lie. But Time is taking it slow.
Yeah. Which is exactly what he should be doing here, you know. Not just taking advantage of his unit composition, slow mech style, but also taking advantage of the map. It's very defensible.
It really is. It's just the fifth base where things can get a little bit dicey, and Solar does have eyes on it. He does have a Muta here towards the north, Ling towards the center, and towards the south doesn't quite have vision on that area, but maybe that's where we are going to be expanding next if we are Time. For the time being, though, he's just looking to get 200 supply. He is quite close. On top of that, he's going to be hitting with 3-3.
Yeah. It's going to be a massive window of opportunity for him here. I'm just not sure if he has hit his final form yet, at least in terms of his army. Sees a couple more Thors, a couple more Hellbats, and Smart Servos.
Yeah, smart servers, hashtag tracking, everything is on the way. As we do see Time now dipping onto the map, clearing up what little creep he can. There we go. There is that fifth base being taken towards the center of the map, and Solar has to respond to this. He cannot let Time get this up and running for free.
Yeah, but he's going to try. He is definitely going to try. It's a little bit tough to take out this position, but because of that, Solar, I think, is just, weighing up his options, looking to see if there is an opening into that triangular third.
Oh, exactly. We see the rocks being cleaned up towards the north as well. It looks like the tanks are on siege here, so Solar are going to be maybe looking for an opportunity. Bailings do roll on by in towards the triangular third as well.
And we'll see a lot of Blinding Clouds do get thrown down, but mostly on the Thors, not the tanks. A couple of Corrosive Vials do connect with some Thors, but again, the tanks are really what's important right now for Time. That's really his key unit. And the fact that it's still alive means that Time is still alive.
Yeah, honestly, that was a pretty good fight for Time. Solar threw away a lot, but he's got a bank, so he can afford to throw away a lot. He does immediately remax here with Mass Ling. He's working on 3-3. Creep is looking to touch tips, to touch bases here with the rest of rest of Time's bases. So yeah, he has to be a little bit careful here. As Solar, he's going to be wrapping around.
Yeah, he finds a little bit of an opening here. Again, no blinding clouds. But he is able to take out a couple of tanks. Very, very inefficient trade here for Solar. And yes, he can definitely afford to trade inefficiently. But does he have... He can afford it in terms of minerals, but does he have the time?
Yeah,
he does.
He has to be careful.
Yeah.
He makes 88 Lings right now, and he's going to be able to rebuild the Ling Bane that he just lost. But I think one more fight, and Time is going to be feeling confident enough to counterattack. It's going to be difficult due to all this creep, but as I say that, there we go. There's that scan, and a lot of these active creep trimmers are going to be cleaned up.
Yeah, if one more fight just goes Time's way, then I don't think anything can really stop him from walking across the map. If Solar is able to take out at least half of the tanks, though, should be able to keep this game going.
Yeah, I do worry though, because Solar's still stuck with Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager, and I don't know if that's the best army right now. He doesn't have any Infestors, he doesn't have any Broodlords either. A couple of Biles are going to be connecting here with the army. It looks like Solar, is setting up for a surround.
It's definitely very interesting that he went for this unit composition. He got the Greatest Spire a while ago.
Oh.
It's a bit of a run by, and this base should go down, like so.
Yeah, that
very,
base.
very important mining base here for Time.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? He's not done. The Lings, they smash in towards the natural as well. The wall was not a wall, and this is going to force a massive counterattack from Time. He knows that right now Solar's defenses are at their weakest.
And this is exactly what Solar wants. Sure, there's a lot of momentum behind Time's way, but it's a slow push. It's a very, very clunky army. Solar can afford to buy himself a little bit of time and just remax. He can afford to lose this base. He just needs to remax.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do so as one hatchery does go down. But right now, I imagine that Time wants to break in towards the natural and the main base. We have a little bit of energy here for these blinding clouds. How good are they going to be?
We shall see. One of them is all right. The other ones land again on the Thors, which are pretty good. I mean, better than nothing. A couple of corrosive vials do land, but once again, Solar has neglected the tanks. Time is able to keep this push going.
Yeah, I think Time is going to be able to break in towards the natural base. We see a backup Roach Warren being thrown down, as I believe it was just killed. So we do have just a handful of units remaining, but actually Time is heavily supply blocked. What you see is what you get. He cannot make any more units to rebuild despite his bank.
Yeah. This gives Solar a ton of breathing room to get his units in order, to get his buildings in order as well. Once he clears up this army, he is going to have so much, I don't want to keep saying momentum, but he's definitely going to have the ball in his court.
He really will. Meanwhile, we have a couple of Hellbats here towards the bottom right-hand corner, going to be denying some of that mining here. Looks like Reinforcement is going to be able to clean that up. The Greater Spire is going to be under threat. A lot of important tech is going to be going down.
Another Roach Warren over here, yeah.
Yeah, Roach Warren is going to fall here. The Greater Spire is probably the most important thing. So now we do see that Time doesn't have to worry about Broodlords, but Mass Ravager is coming out, and it looks like Solar breaks out of his main.
I mean, in fairness, Solar never really made any Broodlords, which, again, is kind of curious. Questionable. More questionable than curious, really. Trying to break in here, trying to see if he can throw down a couple of corrosive vials, but I fear he did stay in the Venn diagram of tanks for a bit too long.
Yeah, there were so many tanks in position. That was not a good fight for Solar whatsoever. Meanwhile, it looks like we have a Thor drop towards the southern end, but looks like the Lings are going to be able to get us around, and the Thor goes down.
Yeah, pretty nicely done. Solar's still ahead when it comes to the drone count, but yeah, doesn't have that many bases remaining. He is coming in. That's a pretty decent blinding cloud on a couple of tanks.
But I worry because now Time isn't supply blocked, and now he's actually producing. We see Thors and tanks in production. If they are able to reinforce this army, I do think that Time can push on further and break even more of these bases.
Like so. So gonna roast up mineral line after mineral line after mineral line. Worker counts are about to be even.
Yeah, but you know what? Time is losing a little bit too much here. At the same time, looks like the bottom right-hand base is going to be cleaned up as well. So both players are hurting so much here. Time, the Lynx. No, the Lynx, they killed the CC.
Yeah, not quite able to lift that in time. Things are just going from chaotic to what's the level on top of that light? Insane.
Oh my god, they are getting out of control right now. We just see a weird kind of engagement going on. The reinforcements are being cut off here. Solar cleans up more of these tanks, more of these Hellions, but at the same time, he's almost boxing himself in. Solar has to be careful not to overcommit as, oh my god, here we go. He's going to be engaging here with the army.
Lot of tanks. Solar trying to bile down the tanks one by one, and it's not a bad strategy, all things considered. But he can't really afford to take risks like that. Both players are so broke right now.
Yeah.
As Solar gets 6 Vipers?
Oh.
Seems a little bit excessive.
A little bit. I mean, honestly, it was a pretty important moment when Time lost his southern base. I think that was a massive mistake on his part to not lift it up, and as a result, he's
on one mining base.
He does only have one base mining right now. Likewise, Solar has two bases basically mining. We'll see if that's going to be enough here as the armies are colliding towards the north. Those Vipers that popped out, they need a little bit more breathing room here to be able to gather that energy.
Yeah, Solar definitely found a decent time to push into this before all the tanks and siege up, but he's not fighting with his entire army. He's not in his final form just yet. Now the Vipers are done sucking energy. But what can they accomplish here when there are this many tanks?
I mean, with this many Vipers, we can potentially blinding cloud everything. It's quite possible.
Potentially.
There we go. The blinding clouds are thrown down, and Time can't really engage. But the tanks are doing so much from the back line.
This always happens here in the fights, man. Solar, it feels like he gets a little bit too trigger happy with those blinding clouds. He blinding clouds all of the Thors, which isn't bad. But then his ground army is being shelled away by the siege tanks in the backline.
Yeah, I think so as well. Here we go. One Thor goes down. It does get yoinked here by those Vipers. Speaking of, the Vipers are regathering their energy. They may even end up killing one of these mining bases of Solar. Okay, they do pull out.
Not quite yet, but I'm hoping we get to witness that. It's funny.
There we go. A couple more blinding clouds. Yo, the Roach Ravager Remax. It looks like it may be enough.
Yeah, some good blinding clouds and a beautiful concave of roaches and the Ravagers coming out here from Solar. He should be able to concentrate the forces here. The tanks on the high ground, though, are doing so much, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna be enough. GG is called, and Solar takes a absolutely chaotic, apocalyptic game number 1. Oh my lord.
GG, well played. That was quite close there. Honestly, if Time was able to get that base up and running, if he was able to establish a second mining base, that would have changed everything, and I do think he would have been able to overwhelm Solar in the end. Alas, we saw wasn't able to do so, and Solar takes game 1. But what a game 1.
What a game 1 indeed. I mean, we saw how close it was, despite Time losing all of those bases, despite both players playing at such a low economy. Actually, Solar had a decent economy for quite a while, and I guess that was enough to sort of carry him into the end of the game there. But yeah, it was definitely a map where everything was up in the air. Many moments for either player to just clench out the victory, but weren't quite able to do it until the very end.
That was just intense. That was so intense. What a game number 1. That was off of a crazy mech style that started with hyperflight rotors.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah,
an upgrade that didn't really come into play, to be honest. I didn't think the Banshees were. I don't think they did too much. But that was a wild start to the game, and now we are going into game número 2.
See. And it oh man, it is of course going to be on Waterfall. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the red Zerg player coming down from the land of Korea, winning game number 1 but having to fight so hard for it, he is on track to win this entire tournament, but we'll see. Representing On-Site Gaming OSG, he is Sola.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Waterfall, we have his opponent, the Chinese Terran player representing CranKy Gaming. It is time.
Man, I was saying, if he had 5 Banshees with those Hyperflight Rotors to, go back and forth with site bases, maybe we would have seen something different.
Maybe, it's hard to say, That was a very close game in the end. I think Time really did display the skill of his mech quite well. Unfortunately, he was forced all in because of the massive lane counterattack that just eviscerated 3 of his CCs, and he just had to commit, and he was supply blocked for a long time. There's a lot that came down to that kind of led up towards that win there from Solar. Hard to replicate, unique game there in game 1, and we'll see what happens in game number 2 as we go from one of the larger maps to the smallest map in the map.
Yeah, and more important to note, the Terran favorite map.
True. We'll see. I mean, I expect both players to have different approaches to the game. I will be shocked if Time goes for a 3cc Banshee opener. When you want to be the aggressor, you want to be in your opponent's face, you also want to be not dying to any kind of roach push from the Zerg.
I wouldn't.
There you go. Also, could I hand you the camera for a minute? I desperately need a glass of water.
Yes. Oh man. So do I. All right, we'll trade paces. You first.
What?
You get water first.
Yeah.
Yep. I was just warming up my camera skills, my observer skills, as we just about jump into this. We do see a 1-1 for the time being so far, and there we go. That's the third CC coming out here from Time, not straying too far from what gave him success in this in his CBZs so far. Solar, meanwhile, just going for another economic opening, kind of what he likes to do. We know that earlier on, Dark loves his aggression in the early game. Solar, not as much. He likes to be a little bit more economic, a little bit more focused on getting upgrades and just securing an economy on 3 to 4 bases. In the meanwhile, drones are getting thrown down, as we do see the tech labs coming up here from
shaking my head.
Time.
I'm shaking my head. I saw it as I was leaving that it was going for the 3cc Banshee again. I was like, shit, god damn it, Time.
Yep.
If you would like to go and get some water, you can go ahead as well. Yaku.
I'll do that. I finished my 500 ml.
Go for it, mate. Go for it. But yeah, we were talking about this at the start of the game, and I'm a little bit shocked that Time is just committed to the same build opener every single game so far in his TVZ's 3cc Banshee. It is very economic. It is relatively safe. It is not really aggressive whatsoever. So yeah, I'm just quite surprised. This time he doesn't go for a Viking, which means this probably will not be a mech transition that we saw previously. He has no intention of hiding his tech, as he is going to be poking and prodding here, just skirting around the edges of the map and getting an eye on the third and the saturation of the third as well. So nothing too much of note to say here, as we're just droning from the side of Solar. We're just working on our macro. We should be seeing double Evo chambers. We should be seeing our upgrades on the way soon. I can't imagine Solar is going to be one to prioritize Lair, but we'll see. We'll see what he ends up taking up towards first, as the Overlord, looking at the vision, was able to at least confirm, yep, the 111 and the CC. So Solar knows,
probably shaking his head so hard right now.
Yeah, he's like,
yes,
okay,
again.
You wanna be economic? Okay, buddy. Okay, let's drone. A couple of safety spores being thrown down as well, so you didn't really miss out on too much. And there we go. There are those double Evo chambers on the way for Solar. So a very standard response so far.
Yeah, no need to really shake things up just yet. As Solo sees it. much more biofocus this time coming up from Time. I mean, aside from Stim and the eBays, it's kind of what we expect from Time, and I think it's actually better for Waterfall as well. Like you were talking about it, it's a really good map for Terran aggression. How are you gonna be aggressive with mech?
Yeah, exactly. You really can't. You really can't. So if you are able to get a little bit of momentum with your bio army, you can just kind of blow things out of proportion. We do see, once again, we're just poking in. We're just shaving off what little damage we can or what little health we can on these queens. Just trying to deny any kind of fourth base as they get thrown down. Speaking of, we do see a cancel on the fourth here on the right-hand side as the Banshees dip on in towards the third.
Yeah, trying to see whatever damage they can get done. Maybe pick off a drone. Not quite yet, but soon.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like
yeah,
there's not enough energy here for a transfuse. At the same time, the Hellions, they try to just dive on in. They force their way in towards the natural, but there's so many Lings ready and waiting, and this was a trap. Time loses all of his Hellions.
Loses all of his Hellions and the map control behind it as well. Solar is free to do whatever he wants right now. He could double expand, and there will be nothing to stop him.
This is a PSA here to you Terran players out there. Like, diving into the natural is always a very risky thing to do, and for Time to throw caution to the wind, for him to just send it like that, sometimes you get punished for it. And looking at the units lost tab, yep, 8 of these Hellions went down, and they dealt 0 economic damage.
And with that freedom, Solar is now getting 3 hatcheries. I think one of them might be a macro hatch, but still.
Yeah, it looks like the base on the right-hand side may be denied once again by these Banshees. At the same time, we have a double drop moving in towards the would-be 4th base. A lot of creep is being cleaned up, but there's plenty of Ling Bane to defend.
Yeah, plenty of Ling Bane, not a lot of anti-air. Not yet, anyway. Solaire did finish up a while ago, as did the Hydra Den. So Soul's playing this out very, very standard.
Yeah, he's going to be going for Ling Bane Hydra. Again, a very robust army. It is quite flexible as well. We'll see how well he's going to be able to utilize it. Meanwhile, here he's doing a great job of just keeping up with these drops, just making sure that his creep doesn't get cleaned up, it doesn't get denied. Time doesn't really, again, he can't be anywhere near as aggressive as he would have liked to have been just because of the loss of all those Hellions, so he has to back on up and rely on drop play instead.
I don't think I've seen a number lower than... I don't think I've seen less than 3 hatcheries being produced at a time in the past 2 minutes or so. Or Solar, Jesus. That's, again, why it's so important to get that map control early on.
Exactly, as we have that base on the right-hand side being retaken. I say that, but here we go. Another double drop is moving into position. Once again, the Ling Bane, this time a little bit out. Not quite keeping up with the rotation as the Queen gets picked off.
Yeah, and there we go. We got another delay on this 4th base location. I mean, Solar's still going to be fine economically, but not as fine as he would like to be.
Yeah, he has been able to expand here on the left-hand side, but not so much on the right. He's been really struggling here as the Queens are trying to spread their creep, and the Marines move in once again. Oh, could even try and catch some Queens, but here comes the Lings.
Yeah, chasing them into a bit of a corner here. Virtually forced to pick up and find another place to drop. This multi-pronged harass from Time has been looking pretty fantastic, but I have a feeling that's about to change once Solar maxes out and gets his hive tech.
That's the thing, like, Time's aggression hasn't been bad. The problem is that Solar, for the most part, has been able to keep up with it. He's been able to maintain his worker count. He's gotten up to 88, 87 drones. There is that lurker den. There is the hive on the way as well. Like, he's gonna be able to max out on Ling Bane Hydra, soon to be lurkers, and I feel like Time isn't quite ready for this.
He got a lot of tanks, you know. He's getting a couple of ghosts right now, but yeah, it definitely can be very, very hard to pull off against the lurkers.
Yeah, we can see that the downside right now is that Time is spread quite thin. He's got some supply here on the right-hand side. He's got supply on the left-hand side. It means that Solar, when he does kind of focus on one point, he will have an overwhelming supply advantage, and we'll see if Time can rotate with him, as here we go. Solar, he's pushing in to at least deny this base.
Yeah, and he's able to do that. A lot of tanks over here. He doesn't quite want to push in all the way, but he doesn't really need to either. There's nothing really pressuring him to push into the bases of time.
Exactly, he doesn't commit, he doesn't have to for the time being. We do see a bit of a Ling Bane run being set up on the right hand side, but we have a wall, we have tanks, we have sensor towers. I do think that time should be prepared for this. We're just waiting for Solar to try and pull the trigger.
And he's kind of pulling it here, just getting a bit of a delay on the space once again. Forces a lift up, forces a lot of units to reposition themselves.
At the same time, he actually tested the waters on that right-hand side wall. Noticed that it was a full wall. It does back off in the end. So Time has done a great job at establishing a fourth and now getting a fifth.
I love that mental image in my head. A bunch of links smack into a wall to confirm it's a wall. But here comes a multiple angle attack coming in here from Solar. He's cleaning up a lot of tanks and a decent chunk of the bio. And not long after that, he is going to be able to remax a lot of banelings being thrown down. Where are the lurkers, though, is what I want to know.
There are 0 lurkers right now. Here come a couple of A's from behind. There comes a Blinding Cloud as well. We do see a hot pickup, and Solar is able to deflect that counterattack.
Oh, loses a couple more units than he would need to, or than he would like to. But he is able to get time off his back for the time being.
He is. A couple of reinforcing tanks are showing up as well. We have 3 about to finish up. 4 Time is going to have that upgrade advantage. We only have +3 armor on the way for Solar, and here is that tech transition. We finally have the first set of ultras on the way. Sorry, of lurkers on the way.
I did not notice this light, but Solar, despite having the lurker den and the high for a while, hasn't gotten his lurker upgrades yet.
Yeah, no lurker upgrades, no 3-3, no adrenal, I don't believe. Yeah, we don't have adrenal glands. Oh, I did see a Viper earlier, and yes, we do have 1 Viper with the army, but only 1.
Yeah, that's not gonna be a whole lot here. Lurkers now just trying to shell away at that wall, but again, they are vanilla lurkers, so we'll see how much I can really accomplish. Massive cover attack coming out from Solar. He's pushing so deep into Time's side of the map, but he needs to be very careful not to overextend. He was able to clean out a couple of tanks, which is always nice. But how many more times can he afford to trade like that?
Yeah, exactly. He desperately needs to get these bases up and running. We do see the lurkers have been doing a lot of work, but now the lurkers are exposed, and 1 lurker does go down.
Nip sniped. Just like that.
Yeah, it looks like Solar finally has a right-hand base. He's going to be trying to sneak out some of these other hatcheries as well. Time cannot let Solar get away with this, but for the time being, unfortunately, he has to focus on remaxing as he's still not quite at that 200 supply.
You can't land that base. That's actually kind of sad and annoying. As well.
A lot of creep has to be cleaned up here, and it looks like Time is going to be able to do so. He's going to be trying to situate himself here on the low ground, and if he gets this area on lockdown, not just the planetary, but also some towers, it's going to be difficult for Solar to really stop that push.
Yeah, but he's going to try. No matter what, he's going to try. Nice little angle here for the lurkers. Just slowly chip away at the bases. That's kind of the power of Seismic Spines. That's finished up.
Here we go, the Ling Bane is going to be rolling on forward. There wasn't enough to buffer for the tanks. 2, 3, 4 tanks are going to be going down here.
And that's a decent number of pickoffs, but once the Ling buffer ran out here for Solar, he just traded so inefficiently. I could really tell he was trying to connect the Banelings with the ghosts over there. But yeah, good on Time for being able to clean out those Banelings with the tanks that remained.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I feel like Time did trade a little bit more efficiently there, and he's just slowly encroaching on the bases of Solar. He's going to be splitting off a couple of Lings, and it looks like no, he will not get attacked. Almost forces that friendly fire. On the right-hand side, we now have Liberators, so the Lurkers are not going to be able to push on any further.
Yeah, not without getting a face full of lasers over there. And there we go, Neo Seal Frame going to be finished up here from Time. Solar, might as well GG.
Might as well GG as, oh my god, a Widowine shot goes off on the center of Solar's army there. Once again, he's going to be forced back, and Time is going to be able to get this base up and running.
Yeah, I mean, behind that, Time did lose a couple of units. I was going to say a couple of ghosts, but no, he actually only lost 1 ghost this entire game. Sorry, not the worst fight in the world for Solar, but still very much in Time's favor. These tanks are gonna get cleaned out, but what about all of these tanks in the backline? Solar going in with everything and losing everything as well. GG is called, which, yeah, GG is called. All right, Time takes that game, ties us up sideways 1-1.
GG. Time just forced Solar all in there. We saw it on the screen. Solar, his 2 fresh mining bases were completely shut down by only single liberators. And we saw the past couple of fights, you were pointing it out, like Solar just wasn't really trading too well. He was killing tanks, but that's kind of it. He wasn't killing ghosts. He wasn't really killing too much of the bio. Wasn't killing too much of the liberators or the medevacs. Just some really rough engagements from Solar, and Time had a very slow and methodical approach to that game, just like slowly pushing forward and just trading insanely efficiently.
Yeah. As it turns out, I was looking at the wrong player. I was looking at those trades. I was like, Solar is trading out so inefficiently. Like, how does he still have a bank? Turns out I was looking at Time.
Yeah, exactly. Time was just too strong there, and now we're tied up 1-1.
In this best of 5 series, which is super exciting. This is the first map in this entire tournament that Solar has dropped so far.
Oh yeah, and honestly, he could have dropped the first one as well. Like, Time is on fire right now. Like, he totally, there's a world out there where he's up 2-0.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just looking quite powerful. And that's the thing about Waterfall, you know, these the map is so small, the bases can be so close together, and yeah, we saw him just forcing his way into the area of Solar, and he just couldn't stop Time.
Not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say that's the thing about Waterfall. It's a Terran map.
Some would say it's a Terran map. Some would try and push back on that idea. They're full of copium, I say.
I was gonna say, you know, where do you fall, viewer?
You can make your own judgments. I would say just it favors.
One of them is a wrong judgment, though. Keep that in mind while you're making your judgment.
It favors certain play styles, and here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data C. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar.
And over here, the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in that top right-hand corner, we of course have our blue Terran player coming out from the land of China. He is of course going to be representing KZ Gaming, KZG. It's a lightning bolt, but it really should be a flame, because he is on fire. He is Time.
Oh boy, and it's so important for him to be peaking right now, whether it's for Home Story Cup or whether it's for Katowice, because of course he will be getting that slot for when it comes to those EPT points.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just announced today that yeah, Time said he wasn't going to be playing at Home Story Cup.
Yeah,
they actually
enough.
Yeah, couldn't they couldn't get any of the Chinese players to accept the invite, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, COVID restrictions are still quite powerful. On top of that, it's difficult to get a visa on very short notice as well. I know that's why Miyamika, he couldn't participate in the qualifiers, because he knew, hey mate, I need like 6 weeks for a visa, and the tournament's in like 2. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate that certain things were so last minute. A little bit of a feels bad, man, but you know, sometimes these things happen, and yeah, hopefully it's something that can be resolved in future iterations of Home Story Cup and of these offline events. Hopefully.
Yeah, we're still easing our way into everything again. It's still the first year where offline events are coming back, and you know, not just coming back, but also in kind of a new format here. Very, very experimental one, having TSL and Home Story Cup as part of the Pro Tour. So yeah, just sorting out the kinks. 2023 though, that's gonna be great.
Oh, 2023.
2-3. No, wait, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 0-0, 2.
You're like, how do I spell 2023?
23.
Yes.
I do the O or the 0. It's like, you know.
Yeah. I get it. I get you. As we do see once again, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And to be fair, we do have a couple of different transition points from here, but time is going for the 3cc.
I could sense the copium in that addition you made there. It's like there are different ways you can transition from the 3cc before Starport. You know, he's got options available to him. He doesn't just have to open with Banshees.
I mean, you know.
And you know, you're right.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's not. That doesn't mean he's gonna know.
True. Game 1, he did open up Viking first, if you remember, which eventually led into Mech. So I'm sure there are many players that are fully aware. Data C is not a bad map for Mech. You can kind of solidify yourselves on 4 bases quite easily. Getting the 5th is not too bad either because of these ramps. The 6th, it's a bit of a different ask. Yeah, this isn't a bad map for it. Oh my god! The first signs are here.
Yo, he's gonna get lib range. No. Well, no matter either way, it's not gonna be a Banshee coming up from him. It is most likely gonna be a BC. And this is something that can absolutely catch Solar off guard.
So this is very interesting. Time is doing this a little bit inefficiently. There's a reason why you don't add-on swap when you go for a BC opener, because we can see all this time right now, there's nothing being done. Here we go. He's going for the fake. That's why he went for the add-on swap. He wants Solar to believe that it is going to be a Banshee opener, but that Overlord is headed in a certain direction.
It is headed in a certain direction. Now, I have to imagine Soul's already going to be a bit suspicious that he doesn't see any research this time. Oh man, that Overlord moves just a little bit towards the left. Catch that, but it was not to be.
Was not to be, as the Overlord doesn't see everything. But Solar, because of the threat of the Banshees, he's going to be throwing down spores anyway. He's going to be getting plenty of queens. He's going to have plenty of anti-air. But we can see that time is committing, and this is the sign of Mech. We have Yamato on the way, which means that he wants to make multiple BCs, which means he wants to commit to BC production, and I imagine later on throw down some factories.
Yeah, you love to see it. Or at least I do. When it comes to the openings, Queens are already getting a bit distracted by these Hellions. And Solar, he is able to look at that main base once again. He's got to be wondering a little bit, yo, why isn't a Banshee out yet?
Yo, what's going on? There we go. There's the add-on switch, and there is the second factory on the way, and the third factory. It is kind of what we expect off of a BC opener, and there we go. The first BC is teleporting across now to meet up with the Hellions.
Yeah, a ton of support coming down over here. Great target firing from the Queens, but can they take out the Banshee in time? Already the Hellions are being so annoying and so effective. These Lings aren't doing anything right now.
Yeah, the Lings, they cannot do anything. They just threaten to surround, and that is all they can do. We do see a lot of creepers being cleaned up here. One queen did go down, but only one queen and 2 drones. This is okay. This is acceptable damage here from Solar. He was, for the most part, able to deflect this, and now he's going for a massive counterattack.
Or trying to anyway, as the wall is, in fact, a wall. I say that. Okay, it's a wall. It's a wall.
Oh, when walls are not walls, also when walls are walls. Feels good, man. Lings are forced back. We see a typical transition from Solar. He's going for a Spire. He's going for a Roach Warren as well. He is prepared for another versus Mech game.
Merc?
Mercenary Mech? I don't know.
Lock? Oh,
God. So yeah, we'll see how he's going to be able to handle this. Again, this is going to be a very different kind of mech, though. If you remember, last game we saw it wasn't even battle mech because we didn't even see Cyclones. To be honest, it was just like it was Banshee Hellion as an opener.
Yeah, it was definitely very weird, and he held off on Blue Flame for a long time as well, despite investing a lot in those Banshees and despite getting a whole ton of Hellions as well. Yeah, it was definitely a weird game, number one, but this is definitely a bit more orthodox when you're going, coming out from time. When you're going for BCs, you don't go for battle mech behind this.
Yeah, you typically do not. Here we go. The Yamato is done. We're going to be seeing a snipe on 2 of those high NG queens. Very nice target firing there by Time. Meanwhile, the queens are not in position. They have to rotate back around, and that means that the main base is a little bit vulnerable. Spore will go down, and maybe even a couple more queens.
Yeah, maybe a couple more queens. Okay, he's probably not going to get the drones from here unless he target fires really, really well.
Oh, but you know what he
can.
The
Spire.
The Spire is looking a little bit exposed, but the queens are able to rotate over in time. We do have teleport available here for these BCs, and there we go. They do get the hell out of here.
Ooh, just before the Corruptus hatch.
There we go, and back at home we are transitioning. We got Hellions, we got tanks, we got Thors, we even have a couple of Widow Mines being mixed in. Yeah, very interesting. Just really taking this defense seriously.
Yeah, and he definitely needs to right now. We're on Waterfall, and he's playing mech. He can't exactly be active on the map when there's this much creep out and when there are these many lings out. He just needs to fortify himself on 4 bases, and then once he does that, get 5 bases. But hang on. That's a lot of Hellions getting picked off.
Yeah, that's a lot of Hellions being picked off. That's a lot of map presence right now. That's a lot of buffer for the tanks as well. So nicely done here by Solar. It does take a while though. Like, Time has done a good job at least, you know, delaying any kind of counterattack for as long as possible. The Corruptors go across the map to try and pick off whatever they can, but they do run into those Thors.
Like so. Corruptus really just sharking around, really just trying to figure out if they can jump on top of those BCs, but the answer is no, not yet.
Not yet, mate, not yet. Meanwhile, Shadow said the contamination, you rarely see it, but on those factories, you know, little things like that do add up over time. They are nice little things here that Solar is mixing on in as he is looking to max out on Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager, Corruptor. Hive is on the way behind this. And meanwhile, our Terran player is fully saturated on these 4 bases.
Yeah, that's definitely the first step to victory here for the Terran player. The next step is getting a 5th base, and beyond that, it's pretty much easy sailing. Oh, that was a kill and not a cancel.
At the same time, it looks like the BCs get caught out in 1 BC. Looking at the ESL stab, yes, 1 BC was sniped, so Time was a little bit distracted there, was focusing a little bit too much on those Hellbats.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, actually. BCs, I mean, they're not the backbone unit, but they are super important to just keep the harass up and to just have something to support your ground army later down the line.
Definitely, like, do not scoff at Yamatos. They are quite useful in these engagements. Meanwhile, Solar, what he's really lacking in, I feel like, is bases. He is double expanding as we speak, so he's working on his lack of hatcheries, don't get me wrong, but hopefully he gets them sooner rather than later, because soon Time is going to be looking to try and establish a 5th base.
Like so. Well, okay, not quite yet. It doesn't even have the okay, actually he does have the CC.
Yeah, he's got the CC, hasn't gone. There we go. As we say it, he is going to be looking to take his 5th base. Is a little bit exposed here. His army's not quite in position, but there we go. He's rotating over. He's going to try and get in.
Or is he?
Oh, we'll see.
Now, Solo definitely has eyes on that 5th base, but at the same time, the amount of pressure this mech army has in the middle of the map does mean that Solar is going to have to make a judgment call. How many units can he split up?
Exactly. What can he afford to move over in that direction, as a lot of creep is being cleaned up in the middle of the map. Towers, missile towers are being thrown down as well, as we do see Time slowly kind of drawing a line here on the map of Data Seed to go across to cover his triangular 3rd and go over as well, cover this 5th, and maybe even take a 6th.
Yeah, just getting ready to do all of that while he still can. Solar, meanwhile, just rounding up his army. He did finish a Greater Spire a while ago. He did get a couple of Vipers. He's just focusing on upgrades right now and just, yeah, trying to make sure that he has the best possible and maxed out army. Both players are actually maxed, funnily enough.
That they are. At the same time, a little bit of a Hellbat run by. It's going to get cleaned up. Shouldn't be able to do too much. But here we go. Slowly pull the trigger.
He's trying to jump in on everything, but it's kind of a tough ask when you're going up a ramp into a choke point like that. So it loses a lot of units unnecessarily there, mostly Banelings.
Yeah, that was a bit of a costly fight, but Solar is rotating back around. He wants to try and find another way in. There we go. A couple of blinding clouds are thrown down on these tanks.
That's some pretty key blinding clouds at that, but it's not really able to push all the way in. Solar has a very, very awkward army right now. I mean, he's maxed out, but the ratio of his unit composition is a little bit weird. He does want to get rid of a couple of these roaches. He doesn't want to get rid of his Ling Bane.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward. I do have to agree. Looking at the units tab, we have one Viper. I think we're lacking a little bit there. I think we both agree that blinding clouds are going to be king when it comes to breaking these siege positions. He's investing into infestors with pathogen glands. I do think that's a good call. I don't think infestors are necessary right now, but we will need them soon.
Yeah. A couple of fungals on top of ghosts, for example. A couple of, if the game goes on long enough, maybe a neural parasite on some Thors and whatnot can definitely mean the difference between life and death for these Sky Zerg units.
It really can. It really can. It's all about those spellcasters in the late game. And there we go. Neural Parasite is on the way. Again, another great way to deal with Thors. We should be switching into Thor Ghost for our Terran player. And there's the Ghost. There are the Thors. We still have tanks to kind of maintain and anchor these positions. But when it comes to the pushing force, it is going to be about the anti-air of both the Thor and the Ghost against potentially Broodlords. We're not there yet. Still mainly Ling Bane. So Time has to be careful not to tech up too quickly.
Yeah. What's the thing when you're looking too far ahead that you end up tripping on a rock?
There you go. And Ling Bane.
That's the analogy I'm using.
Yeah, Ling Bane, that's a rock you don't want to be tripping over. Oh boy, so we shall see for the time being. Oh, actually, Time is trying to sneak out a 6th base on the top left-hand corner. Again, if he gets any kind of 6th base, whether it's the top left or even the center left, that is going to be huge.
Yeah, that's gonna mean he can essentially double his bank. It's gonna mean a ton more units that he can pump out. Solar wouldn't be able to afford to trade so inefficiently at that point.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people that would say that if the Terran is somehow able to control these top 3 corner bases, then it may just be over. Because that just unlocks so much economy, so many resources for the Terran player, and they're already maxed out at this point. So we'll see if he's going to be able to take control of that. Solar is doing his best to try to mine from that area, as again he's still just shocking around here with Ling Bane.
Yeah, picking off whatever he can, just trying to stall the advance right now of Time.
We do see a 2nd Spire being thrown down. We have +3 air attack on the way, and we also have a greater Spire. We don't have an amazing amount of Corruptors, but after a big fight, I'm sure Solar wants to switch into Broodlords.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think it's a
I'm
wise
sure he
choice.
definitely wants to, but yeah.
I mean, look at the Thors and the Ghosts and the Beasts. Like, we have a lot of anti-air.
Yeah.
Broodlords are great against really tank-heavy compositions, but we can see that Time is kind of shying away from that a little bit, so we have to be very careful with what composition the Zerg player decides to go for.
We really do. I mean, I can definitely see a scenario where he gets a handful of Broodlords, not too many of them, and then just sneaks them around the back line and have them take out a couple of tanks here and there, but yeah, it's not the most reliable strategy, you gotta say.
Yeah, it really isn't. Here we go. We have a couple of Armadas on. Those Corruptors do see that teleport out. The BCs will survive. And we can see that slowly this Terran army is clearing up this area, is looking to expand and take the low ground base.
Yeah, this mini-map used to be a lot more purple, let me tell you. Great pickoff here on one of the Thors, immediately gets us around. Good blinding cloud on the tank. And go pickoffs on a couple of other tanks, actually.
Yeah, what was that? 3 tanks and a Thor do go down, but that was a lot of supply for Solar. He has a massive bank, so he will easily rebuild, but now Time has the momentum. He has the room to take this hatchery down.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter so much whether or not Solar is able to rebuild. If Time takes out this base, already it's a bit of a victory. Broodlords are coming out. You'll love to see it.
And they are spotted here, so there we go. More Thors and Ghosts are in production right now. He knows what he has to get ready for. Still a little bit of creep that needs to be cleaned up here, so we are looking a little bit vulnerable. We need a missile target, so we need a better defensive line for this 6th base.
Yeah, right now it's not so much of a line as it is a squiggle.
Yeah, exactly, sir. I'm a little bit worried here. I don't know if Time should really commit to defending this location. We'll see if he can pull it off as the Broodlords are coming in.
I just realized this is an orbital as well, not a planetary.
True. A little bit greedy move here from Time. He won't have the added support of a planetary either.
But we'll see. A couple of infestives now being produced for Solar. We'll see what he can get done with that.
Yeah, so he's transitioning into Broodlord Infestor. It looks like his entire army is rotating over to deny these 3 tanks. Not bad. This kind of location is looking a little bit vulnerable, and I feel like Solar is going to go for it.
Like so. Meanwhile, Time is more than willing to reciprocate the damage with a little bit of a base trade of his own. Who gets out is better. My money's on Solar.
Yeah, definitely, especially because Time is looking to respond here. A couple of biles will not be connecting with. They do get 1 ghost.
Yeah, not too bad.
As it looks like the focus is maybe shifting a little bit to the right-hand side again. It looks like we have found a vulnerable location to break in, and we've seen this a lot in these late-game ZvT scenarios, where the Zerg player breaks his triangular third, and then they go straight into the main base. Like, this is a pretty crucial location, so Time has to make sure that that doesn't happen this game.
Yeah, and already we can see him trying to maneuver around once again just to fortify it as best he can. But every time he does something like that, every time he pulls units away from one of his fringe bases to defend another fringe base, he's just leaving his bases vulnerable.
And here we go. It looks like he's going to be able to take down the base on the right-hand side. The Broodlords, they have a choice. That's a lot of Broodlords, by the way. They are going for that stick.
I would argue too many Broodlords. But yeah, he is going straight for it. Time notices, he pulls around. These Broodlords are so exposed, man.
They're very exposed right now, but there are 16 Broodlords, so that's a lot of Broodlords. We do see a small force here going to be taking out another hatchery of Solar. He's going to be responding in kind. He does have neural parasites, so these infestors can take control of the Thors.
Like so.
There.
I just see Fungalid and Bile down. Beautiful snipes. Every single snipe, actually. Yeah. I cannot believe that there was no detection over here for Solar. Such a risky play, and it is going to cost him 11 Broodlords.
11 Broodlords down the drain. Oh my god, he was not expecting the ghosts to come from that angle. And that was disastrous for Solar. He loses 2 hatcheries. He loses a lot of mining time, a lot of mining in general. He has to rebuild all those Broodlords. And to be fair, he has a large bank. He can rebuild, but that was a massive win for Time.
It absolutely was. I mean, even though he wasn't really able to push from there, he was able to secure his base regardless. That was... Man... That very much could have been the game-deciding play right over there.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Time has to try and do that again. As Solar's been able to remax here, he's trying to establish more of these bases. BC on the right-hand side. It looks like it is going to finally go down. Barely, just before getting a kill on that hatchery. We do have a scan confirming the Broodlord Infestor army. This is the ideal late-game army for Solar. He has gotten here. Is it going to be enough, though? It will come down to the control.
It definitely will come down to the control, because I think Time has remembered what is Solar's biggest weakness.
Oh.
Nuke is on the way.
Oh, no. It is on the way. Meanwhile, this time, Solar is paying attention. This time he has infested support, so even if we don't have detection, we do have fungals available. So again, we do have to be very careful if we are Time. There's going to be a dance between the Ghost and the Infestor.
Yeah. See if we can cancel those snipes or those nukes. A lot more Ghost Academies were thrown down. And there we go. We got Terran Upgrade Bingo with that Afterburner.
Oh, there we go. Afterburners on the way. We have ship weapons on the way. We have a transition into Liberators, which I love as well. Ghost Thor Lib is what we want. These Liberators are looking to zone away those infestors to kind of give some safe area, some freedom zones here for those ghosts.
Like so. It's a very symbiotic relationship between Liberators and Ghosts, isn't it?
There we go, and there is our first nuke. We do have a parasitic bomb on top of these Liberators. So far, no splits coming in.
Yeah, there's detection, but the nuke. Solar! Where's the response? Solar! He everything nuked again!
Solar not like this. He loses all of his Vipers. He loses a massive chunk of his Broodlords as well. That was another 11 Broodlords, by the way. He lost 11 in the first fight, and now we are up to 22.
It's a goddamn meme at this point.
No.
Bit more of a zoning nuke here this time coming up from Time. I said that those ghost snipes earlier on were the game deciding move. I was wrong. That nuke was even more game deciding.
It's just the ghosts themselves, you know? It's the nukes,
ghost,
it's the snipes, it's everything that is the ghost is just a counter to Solar's to his mental health. Oh my god. Solar does remax, but look at the bank. Solar's running out of gas. I think that he can sustain one more big loss, and that is it. He'll only be able to rebuild one more time after this.
Well, just don't lose. Just don't have a big loss. You know, if you're Solar. Yeah, it's easy. You know? Just don't lose a bunch of units.
Just don't lose your units, Forehead, as the liberations are being... Oh my god, the EMP is on every single infestor. Okay, we do have 4 infestors remaining here available with Fungals.
I didn't even realize one's the back line. Great snipes on top of these Vipers, and some pretty good Fungals as well, canceling the snipes of the rest of the ghosts.
Yeah.
Solar slowly clawing his way back. He has very, very limited gas income.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, he has a ton of minerals and he's making use of them. 30 lings on the way. The only reason why he doesn't have 300 lings is because he's supply capped.
He is supply capped right now. Here come those snipes again. Solar is working with basically his last standing army. He's trading quite well. He's forcing the Terran army all the way back. But soon he's going to run out of that momentum and time. Again, if he has more time, just give him more time. Always better for the Terran right now. Here we go. Another nuke on the left-hand side.
Yeah, this time trying to get workers instead. 12 SCVs have gone down for Time, and it's exactly what he wants.
Oh boy, here we go. Just a zoning nuke here on the left-hand side. A bit of a ling run by is going to be able to find a lot of damage on this exposed base.
Yeah, that one ghost not going to be able to kill all of them in time, and it'll do even less now that it's dead.
Yeah, but you know what? At this point, looks like our Terran player Time is rotating over towards the other side of the map instead. He is content losing some of these bases. But things are getting a little bit chaotic here. I say that as Solar is now out of gas. Actually, he barely has any left.
Yep. Power Lings, though. Ooh, that was a kill, not a cancel.
That was. Meanwhile, a bit of a ling run by here is going to be, again, just doing a lot of damage. Don't get us wrong. But is it going to be enough to really make up for the deficit that Solar has right now? Time has remax. He's looking for another big fight. We still have plenty of infestors for Puggles.
Yeah, Time definitely still needs to be a little bit careful here, but yeah, I'm not liking Solar's chances one bit here.
The blinding clouds are honestly looking quite good there on the army of Time. We don't see those snipes. As I say that, here we go. A couple of snipes do connect with those Broodlords.
Ooh! And those come to neural parasites. Very nicely done here from Solar. The Hellbat buffer isn't really able to deal with those Broodlings, but I tell you what, the Broodlords are slowly getting into Thor range. GG is called, and Time. Oh man, off the back of those ghosts, he was able to just... It was very, very close until those ghosts came into play, and then it became a pretty convincing win here for Time. He is one map away from winning ESL Asia, number 152.
GG, well played. We saw it where Time was able to secure those bases on the top left-hand corner. He had so many resources to work with. He had so much momentum. And I think we have to admit here, at least when it comes to the late game on Data C, it feels like Time did have better army control overall. Solar was having a really hard time kind of keeping up with the multi-prong aggression and taking care of some of his units in these big fights. We saw it multiple times, let's be real. We saw a lot of snipes, we saw the nukes, we saw a lot.
Oh, yeah. Somebody queued a ghost copy pass though. But really, they were the absolute MVP for Time in this particular map. They not just once, but at the very least twice, and I want to say 3 times, one time the game. First with all those sniping 11 Brute Lords, then with that nuking 11 Brute Lords,
Yeah.
plus all those Vipers, and then right at the end when he was able to just get, I think, 1 or 2 key EMPs on top of the Vipers and on top of the Infestors as well. Man, now he just needs to win inside and out.
There we go.
And he's done.
Time is 1 game away from becoming our ESL Open Asia champion for number 152. I'm gonna have to double check, but I don't believe Time has ever accomplished that before.
He's won.
Oh,
He's won once or twice. Yeah. Back in, I think Time was actually, it was either Time or Scarlet who was the first non-Korean to win ESL Asia. I want to say it was Time.
Okay.
But it might have been Scarlet.
Yeah, you know what? We have the technology.
Oh.
What are Time's accolades? You are correct. Scarlet was the first foreigner, the first non-Korean to win an ESL Open Cup Asia. But as I scroll on through, yes, Time has won once before, number 101.
There we go. I think he's made it to the finals a couple of times.
Yes.
Yeah, only won once.
Oh boy.
Oh. Okay then.
It is something that he has accomplished before, but this was in 2021, so a year ago. Actually, almost a year ago to the number. 101 was on the 12th of December.
Yo. And this is on the 4th, which is about the week that the 12th is on.
Yeah. Maybe there's something about December. Maybe there's something about the winter. I don't know.
Well, you say that, but there was also that one. There was also that one DreamHack winter where he lost for the very first time in DreamHack China.
True. Something about winter.
Yeah, it came. As we spawn into inside and out, we're in the top right-hand corner of the map here, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner. We, of course, have a red Zerg player coming down from that land of Korea. He is coming down and representing On-Side Gaming. OSG. He is. I hesitate to say that. I was going to say he's bright, but mostly because of nukes. He is Solar. He's glowing. And it's because of radiation.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have his opponent, the Chinese Terran player representing KaiZ Gaming. It is Time. 1 game away from becoming our champion. He's done it once before, but it was a year ago. Can he do it again?
Yeah. I think so. I think he can. Will he, though? Because, you know, Solar, he's got to be mad, man. He has got to be mad after that game on Data C. He cannot believe he got nuked again. And you know what? If the Hulk can get strong because of radiation and being mad, Solar, he is, he's channeling it all.
I understand what you're saying. You're like, yo, if he's the Hulk, this is all a good thing. I don't think this is a good thing, though, Papi. I don't think he's the Hulk.
I don't think
Stop nuking him. He's not getting stronger with the radiation. Stop it.
He's getting madder with the radiation. No, actually, no, never mind. He's not getting more angry. He's getting more depressed.
He's getting more. He's smooching, Papi.
That would be a cool hero, though. That would be a cool superhero.
The Smoger?
The Smoger, yeah, he gets stronger the more depressed he is.
The incredible Smoge, Papi. Let's go. Oh my god.
like he gets stronger the more he loses his will.
Ugh.
But he doesn't want to do
He
anything
doesn't want
because
to
he
do
loses.
anything. Well, regardless, Solar is a powerful player, and we are moving from one of the more standard maps. I say one of the more macro maps into one of the smaller maps, into one of the more aggressive maps. And we've spoken about this before. I do think that Solar excels in the mid to late game more than ever.
Yeah.
So I do think that this is definitely a game where he's going to be looking to end things much earlier.
Yeah, it's those timings where he's able to really catch his opponents while they're still transitioning to the late game, where he may not be able to win outright, but he's able to deal enough damage that by the time they do get into the late game, he's pretty much just indomitable. Those are the scenarios where Solar really excels.
They really aren't. We'll see if he's going to be able to do so against Time, especially because Time doesn't do really too much out of the norm. We do see another 3cc opener, by the way. We do see the 1-1-1 on the way. It's just what he does time and time again. A very, very standard play. Sure, he mixes in mech, don't get us wrong. But that last game was bio for the most part, you know? Like, yeah. I say bio. I mean,
yeah, at the start, Hellbats, they are biological units, technically, yeah.
Oh, I spoke
They can
too
be
soon.
healed.
I really wanted to see bio on Inside Now, but we're not getting that. I was projecting.
We could! Wait, look, you were manifesting, you know? You were like, if we... I get it. I do that all the time when I'm watching a game or when I'm casting a game. I'm like, yeah, in this PvP, we're gonna get cannon rushes left and right.
Give cannons.
Sometimes it works, you know?
Oh god,
it usually doesn't though.
Yeah, here we go. We do see a fusion core opener, but Solar is gonna go for a roach timing attack right now. Roach Warren is thrown down. Here is hidden. And we will see what he's going to be able to accomplish with this. A lair is on the way as well. Oh, because the lair, it looks like he's not necessarily going to hit a timing with this, but he is going to commit to Roach Ravager as his composition of choice.
Yeah, I mean, not a terrible idea, considering that I think he suspects at the very least that Time is going to go for mech once again, but yeah, he definitely needs to have N answer to the BCs early on. It can be Queens, it can be Corruptors, but it's got to be one of those.
Oh yeah, it's got to be one of those. The BC is on the way. Solo was able to scout the opener earlier, if you remember. He was able to scout the 3cc Banshee, or I say Banshee. He was able to see the starport with the tech lab. But was that enough of a tell? That is the question, because we do have the lair finishing up. We do have some Queens, we do have some Spores, but where is the Spire?
I don't see it. It's somewhere, but I don't see it.
Yeah, and here we go there with those two factories. So again, a very common transition from a BC opener is mech, so he's going to be doing it once again on Inside and Out. There is that Spire for Solar. You love to see it, as the BCs are going to be moving out across the map.
Oh. Yeah, actually not really as committed this time. He stops at one BC and immediately he lifts his starport and is going to be switching the add-ons.
Yeah. So again, he is varying up his builds here. We saw previously he committed. He went into multiple BC production. He went into Yamato as well. We do see a bit of a dive. Oh, 7 drones went down.
Nice little pickoff here right at the start. Meanwhile, Solar going for a little bit of a run by of his own, able to corner a couple of SCVs. Ah, they just want to hide, man. But the roaches, they found him.
The SCVs hunt down all of these. The roaches hunt down all these SCVs. We do see a lot of damage actually being sustained here for Time. Oh my god, Solar, has he found his opening? He's flooding things behind this.
Yeah, might be able to cancel this third base, or at the very least prevent the mining for a long time. BCs are alright against Lings, even a Ling Flood, but yeah, he's going to need a little bit more support. Now he's able to break out of his natural. He is able to fortify his third, but he's still down about 12 or so workers.
is down in the workers, but I think Solar is done droning. The creep spread is looking quite powerful this game. Again, we're on inside and out. The rush distance is quite short. The highway is on the way. The rocks are being knocked down, and Solar is going for a 1-2 punch. That economic damage was a pretty big deal. Like, again, time has already been knocked off balance here. As I say that, drones are on the way. Solar isn't going for a push.
Aww. I was hoping for one, but
yeah,
I was manifesting right with you. Over there. In my mind, I was.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like he could have been able to get maybe something done here, but as time goes on, this position is getting more and more fortified, and that timing, that window is closing. Oh my god.
Yeah, and these Corruptors are going to have to find some kind of damage, and that damage is taking out these factories. Pretty key pickups, honestly.
Oh my god, the DPS ramps up so quickly here. Can the Thor come back? Can it come back? Can it come out? Up, up, up.
Try to come out. They're out.
The Thors are out. One factory does go down, though.
Yeah, and a little bit of lost mining time behind that as well. So Solar doesn't really lose much. I think he lost one Corruptor. Pretty worth it, all things considered.
Definitely. I really do. I'm of two minds about mech, by the way, on this map, just because there aren't a lot of bases to take compared to Data C, compared to Tropical Sacrifice. We do see the wall is not a wall. The Lings, they do get in.
I'm on one mind of mech in just about every map, Light. Not a fan of it, but yeah, it is a little bit tougher to pull off here on inside and out because you don't have as many choke points and what have you, and we already see Soul's taking advantage of that. He is just maneuvering around everywhere. He is just sending his roaches wherever he can find an open area. And oh, the repair!
Is the repair gonna be good enough?
So
it looks like it's not enough, mate. The CC goes down, and right now Solar has maxed. I think time is in shambles. Time is running out on inside and out with this mass Roach Ravager style. Solar can crush kind of this location. We see the Corruptors still aren't done, by the way. Oh my god.
Yeah, coming in. He knows that there's no anti-air. He knows that there's only that one BC to worry about. What are Thor's gonna do? Waddle back and forth between the third and the main? Well, yeah, they can try.
They can try, mate. They can try. They can struggle trying as well, as the rocks are being knocked down here again. Solar is still maxed out. Now is the time to push in. Time is on the back foot. He has to defend for the next couple of minutes here to try and establish a fourth base. To try and even establish a natural, as he doesn't have one.
Yeah, I just remembered that, yeah. I was gonna say, time is slowly getting starved out, but he's actually being starved out very, very quickly here.
Oh, he really is. I mean, Solar did just have a bit of a rough trade there. He just kind of smashed into a brick wall of tanks, and he was able to kill some of them, but not too many. So Solar has to be really careful when it comes to his angle of attack. I do think that he can find a little bit more success here, like attacking in towards the natural base. I think the tanks are a little bit more spread out and maybe a little bit more vulnerable. We'll see as the Corruptors, they come back in.
Can they get the cancel again this time? 2 Thors to complicate the matters, but the DPS is starting to ramp up. Repairs right at the end, though, will keep them alive, but the Thors, because they were natural, they're not here in the third.
And not there at the third base. Here we go. 1, 2 tanks, 3 tanks are going to be going down, and even though it was a bit of an inefficient trade from Solar, he's happy to back off and remax because he has the economic advantage. He's fully saturated on 4 bases. He's got a 5th now up and running, and Solar can just keep doing that again and again.
Yeah, every tank right now is worth roughly 4 roaches or 4 ravagers right now. So as long as Solar is able to kill a couple of them, he is still going to come out on top.
Boy, and here we go. The Lings are going to be flooding on forward as well, tanking so many of those tank shots. The Biles are going to look to connect as well, but once again, this position, a little bit too good. Trades for 1 tank.
Yeah, some really good SimCity over there, and body blocking as well with the Thors right at the end. If those Ravagers ever got a concave on top of these tanks, I think that would have just about been it, but he was able to retreat, or regroup rather, with his Thors right at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Solar has to be careful not to do that again. We just see he's rotating over. Oh, this is quite exposed here. We have 2 tanks. Time is not here in time to protect this location. There we go. Both tanks go down immediately, and now this 4th base is under threat. Ooh.
It's gonna get biled. The Ravagers are starting to get into position, trying to take off the tanks as they siege. Not quite able to, but pretty soon, man. Pretty soon.
Exactly. I mean, the hatchery survives. Sorry, the base itself does survive, so this is a bit of a win for Time, but he's being stretched thin and he doesn't have the supply to protect both places at once. He's constantly rotating with his Thors. He has to make sure every single time he's able to keep up here with the Roach Ravager. If at any moment he doesn't, then he will kind of lose an angle.
Yeah. That's really the most he can hope for at this point. Brood Lords are coming down here for Solar, which I don't see too many Thors, and even with the Thors that are available right now for Time, I feel like the Ravagers should be enough to act as a buffer.
It really should. I mean, Time is being just choked out right now, and the Thor count isn't high enough to really deal with this. Not yet. We do have more Thors on the way, and if he's given a little bit more room, he can make them. But here we go. The Broodlords are moving on forward here, and we have 3 Thors.
That's not a whole lot. All the tanks are forced to unsiege, which isn't ideal against all of these Ravagers coming down. Good target firing coming up from Time, but I just don't think he has enough. I just don't think he has enough of anything right now. He has enough DPS, he has enough Thors, he has enough SCVs, he has enough minerals. Definitely doesn't have enough minerals.
He really doesn't. The Thors are completely pushed out, and now the Broodlords reign supreme. 2 Thors with mass repair.
They're helping out.
They're doing something.
But once the Ravagers get on top of them, it's going to be a different story. And also the fact that these massive repairs are not sustainable for Time. GG is called. Solar able to tie us up sideways 2-2. Bring us to the ace match.
We are going all the way to the ace match. Game number 5. Let's go. Oh boy, it was a crazy road to get here. Again, Inside and Out is a questionable map to play mech on.
Whoa.
Oh my, I was really curious as to what the ace match was going to be. Oh my god.
I am so glad this is what our ace match is going to be. Or our map is going to be for the ace.
Yeah, so I guess the vetoes were Moondance and Moondance.
Cosmic.
Yes, Moondance and Cosmic Sapphire. Interesting veto choices from our players. Oh boy, which means Stargazers has opened up.
Like so.
It's a good map for Nidus.
How many Niduses? How many? Yo, we saw Rex Nidus on Stargazer. We saw Dark Muta on Stargazers. Solar's gonna have to evolve.
He's gonna have to do one or the other, or something completely different.
He's gonna have to do both
at the same time.
He's gonna have to Nidus and have Mutalists pop out. How terrifying would that be, actually? To have a Nidus pop out in the ground and just all of a sudden flying units just emerge from it.
Swarm of locusts spew out of the Nidus. Oh my god.
Oh, that's metal AF. So we conclude our tournament now on Stargazers, who are of course in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in that top left-hand corner. We of course have our red Zerg player coming down from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing On-Side Gaming, OSG, trying to prevent the time repeat. What? Something or another. He is radiated. He is angry. He is Solar.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Stargazers, we have his opponent, the Chinese Terran player representing KaiZ Gaming. It is Time. He took down Rex, he took down Dark, he took down Creator. Can he do the same to his opponent? He is so close to doing so. He's had some mixed success with Mech, some mixed success with Bio. What does he do here?
Well, he's going for double gas this time.
Oh my god.
Oh, but what?
Well.
Huh? Could not have pointed it out.
Oh yeah, Time maybe getting into his own head a little bit here. Maybe the stress is getting to him because he's here in the grand finals. He's only been able to take the win once before in his life. Oh boy, so he has to be careful. He has to shake the nerves off here because we cannot make mistakes against Solar.
Well, he's already made one, so.
No more.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Everybody gets one. They're allowed to make one mistake.
Yeah, everyone gets one. Okay, everybody gets one.
You get one. Yeah.
It's okay. So we'll see. So we were talking about some of the features of this map before. We do have a pocket base. Because of that, this wouldn't be a bad map for mech, to be honest. We can get some pretty easy 4 bases on this map, and counterattacking can be quite quick. But this is also an even better map for mutas, and if we end up rushing mutas and if we're going into mech, I feel like Time will be on the back foot again. I feel like he's, I don't see him defending against that too well.
Yeah, there's definitely a point later on in the game where you fortify that pocket base enough with a ton of missile turrets that will prevent any kind of aggression. But that's not until somewhere around at the very earliest, around the 10-minute mark. That's an early lair.
This is the earliest lair that Solar has gone for this entire series. Bear that in mind. With a fast lair like this, mate, if we don't get any more gases,
Nidus.
It could actually be Nidus.
It's gotta be Nidus. There is an Overlord in the base right now of Time. I think Time is aware of it, but he can't really deal with it just yet. That's a Roach Warren being thrown down from Solar.
Oh boy, so we'll see where we go with this. We could see a Nidus with Roaches, or we could just see Roach speed instead. The Roach Warren is hidden. The Reaper needs to try and get in for a bit of a scout. We do see a 3cc opener, by the way. 3cc Banshee. Banshees will be great defensively, but if the Queens are also involved in the attack, then the Banshees are going to have a hard time defending.
Yeah, even with Cloak. And that's a Viking first, which isn't a bad idea. You know, try to clear out the Overlords while you can, but it does delay the Banshee. It does mean that he has he'll have fewer defenses.
This is pretty important though. The Overlord has been spotted. It is being dealt with as we speak. It could go down before the Nidus does begin here for Solar. Meanwhile, we do see the Hellions poking and prodding here at the front wall. I am worried, concerned that maybe Time is being a little bit too greedy here. We have a Liberator on the way. There we go. The Viking does take it down, the Overlord.
Yeah, now there's no easy vision into the back base of Time. So trying to sneak in with an Overseer, but the Viking should be able to deal with that. Yup.
Wow, the Viking runs into the Overseer. This is so bad for Solar. Solar, he made the Nidus. He wants to use it as soon as possible. The Roaches have been spotted.
Yeah, making their way across the map, and Time is immediately filling up that wall.
Yeah, he's going for a wall on the low ground, by the way. I don't think he recognizes how committed Solar is, by the way. He hasn't been droning for a while. He's making nothing but roaches. He wants the Nidus to reinforce. There we go. Nidus in front of his opponent.
Yeah, the Liberator should get sieged up. There is a massive window of opportunity here where there aren't any anti-air units whatsoever here for Solar.
Oh my god, exactly. Queens are going to be coming out, though. How good are the transfuses? They try to focus down the repairs of the Liberator.
Way too good, but now the Roaches are starting to pick off the SCVs. Can the Liberator survive long enough to take out all of these Queens? Apparently not.
But
and it was a great idea at the start, but now Time has just lost so many workers.
He did lose a lot of workers, but that's okay because Solar's all in. We can afford to lose We can afford to lose some workers, and that Liberator did a surprising amount of damage. It killed 2 Queens, forced a lot of transfuses, and the Liberator is still alive.
And now here's a couple more repairs. Yeah, it only really sunk in for me when I noticed how few Ravagers Solar could morph in at a time.
Yeah,
he's really hurting in economy.
Here comes a tank. Stim is done, by the way. Again, this push from Solar was so delayed because of the snipe of both the Overseer and of the Overlord. So because of that, Time has been able to get so many upgrades, so many units, and yeah, I think Solar recognizes he can't end the game. He's droning.
Yeah. But to what end? Well, if he can still keep Time contain on these two bases, which is hard to do because there is that pocket base, then he's going to be going into the mid game with such a huge advantage. But already he's losing a lot of Ravagers and a lot of Roaches unnecessarily, losing the Queens as well.
Yeah, oh my god, and this is dangerous right now. He scans just in case there were any tumors. There were not. We do see Banshees on, sorry, we do see Medevacs on the way, and as soon as these Medevacs come out, Stim is done. Time is going to be moving out, and I worry that Solar may not have enough. He's going to try and transition out of this, a very common transition from this point, making use of that layer. He's doing both.
Mainly. No, he's getting inspired. I told you, he had to evolve between Rex and whatchamacallit, Rex and Dark.
Yeah, you know.
But it's more like he's getting half of both.
That's what I mean. That's what I was gonna say. So, are you really getting the best of both worlds, or are you getting the worst?
Of both worlds,
yeah, the worst of both worlds, mate. Here we go. The Marines are here in the pocket base. They're looking to stim in towards the main. What do we have for units to defend? We have 1 Roach and 3 Ravagers, 5 Queens. They're protecting the third, not quite the main.
And the main has 1 Spore, which is going to help against the Medevac, but not against the Marines.
Oh my god, here we go. The Marines, they dive on 4. They try to focus fire. They get 7 drones, and we get a hot pickup to save the majority of the Marines.
Just like so. And that's not even the final form of Time right now.
It is not his final form. He's coming back in as well. A little bit Cavalier here. There we go. He's going to back off at the same time. Ooh, Liberator gets even more drone damage.
Yeah, forces a ton of lost mining time.
Oh my god.
And now Time's looking to reinforce the rest of his army. He has 3 tanks, and Solar has a handful of roaches.
Mate, Solar is banking his larva for mutas, and I think that may just be his end. Look, he's got 700, 800 gas right now. He wants to go. He makes 7 mutas, and mutas are not what you want against this. This may just be it.
He has just killed himself. GG is called. Time is able to win his 2nd ever ESL Open Cup Asia, bringing us all the way to the ace match.
G.
I don't know why my mic isn't picking up.
It's okay. We'll fix it. We'll fix it later.
Yeah. You'll edit in post.
Yeah, well played. Time does it. It could have been done earlier. If we bring it back to that Tropical Sacrifice game, that was so close. But Time has won his very first ESL Open Cup of 2022. His 2nd in his career.
One of the last ones of the year, unfortunately. But yeah, great result nonetheless. He had to take out a couple of Titans to get to this point. He had to take out the best Zerg player in Korea. He had to take out the best Zerg player in Taiwan. One of the best Protoss players in the world, and now one of the best Zerg players once again. He had to take out 2 of the best Zerg players in the world, actually. God damn.
God damn. GG, well played. Time is on fire right now. As you just pointed out, he took down the top 2 Zerg players in Korea, and he took down Creator as well, who's top 2 Protoss up there with Hero. So it wasn't an easy road for Time, not at all, and he still was able to overcome the odds. He was still able to take down these world-class players. And here, at the end of the year, Time is looking on fire. That was crazy.
Oh, GG. In the middle of winter. And yeah, absolute GG. I mean, he looked very, very crisp in his TVZ, especially at the start of the tournament. Maybe he got a little bit more tired. Maybe so, you know, he wasn't quite the same going up against Solar versus when he was up against Rex. But at the same time, he was up against Solar, so you're expected to make a couple more mistakes over there. But despite all of that, with some very, very good decision-making, I would say, some very, very good defensive play and counterattack timings, Time was able to edge out the victory, and yeah, that was an incredibly close series. I think probably one of the most exciting tournaments that I've ever casted. Not just the finals here, but the entire run of Time has been very, 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 very close and very, very exciting. And the one series we casted that didn't have Time, Dark played his off race, so that was still pretty fun.
Yeah, that that was fun. That was definitely fun. Not gonna lie, when we first started the broadcast, when we casted Time versus Dark, I didn't really think much of it. Time versus Rex. I was like, oh yeah, Time's gonna do well here, but you know, he's probably gonna get bopped by Dark. You know, it happens. But Time really impressed me. he was looking just so solid. A little bit predictable, in a certain sense,
Yeah.
where he did go for the same opener every game, basically. He went for a 3cc Banshee. I'm sorry, 3cc Starport. Went for, Banshee or BC from there. But relatively greedy, so if any of our Zerg players did go for like earlier pools and earlier roach timings, then he would be a little bit vulnerable. Even this game, I would think that maybe he would be punished, but we saw that Sol was so delayed. Like the death of the Overlord, the delay of the Nidus basically not hitting and hitting like a minute late is crazy. So yeah, like time just has all the answers.
Yeah. Time, he delays, man.
He's
What he
eternal.
does. Yeah.
Congratulations to Time.
Congratulations.
And I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves as well. I almost forgot, but I should do the payouts as well. We had 50-50 here for these two players.
Ooh.
Makes plenty of sense. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, glad I was one of the few people who voted for Time over here, but yeah, I'm not glad. I'm not so glad that I won't get a payoff for it. Thanks, gambling laws.
Thank you so much, Singapore. But yeah, GG, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Massive shout out to Onside Gaming for donating earlier in the broadcast.
Woo!
And also a shout out to Campo Chess, as he did donate some bits.
I just realized we started this broadcast with Time beating an on-site player, and we ended it with Time beating an on-site player.
Oh, my smooch.
Poetry.
The on-side Slayer. Next time has to go after Maru. He has to go after Maru next.
Yeah. Yo, he took a game off of Maru once.
He did. It did.
I remember this right.
Did take a game.
No, he beat Maru. Yeah, I'm remembering this right. He beat Maru in BlizzCon 2019. Lost in the rematch, but he beat him in the first round.
There you go. So, if you want to invest in stocks, Time is looking pretty good. Looking quite good indeed. And with that, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Thank you so much for the support. If you want some more CranKy Duckling action, then check us out, because we are going to be live. We're going to be live in a couple of hours. I believe in 5 hours from now, both Asher and I will be casting World Team League for our second broadcast of the day. Oh boy, the broadcasting, it does not end. Quickly checking World Team League at the moment. I believe, who plays tonight?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so we're going to be casting Alpha X versus Good Game Gaming.
Oh.
GTT. And Team GP versus KaiZ Gaming. So honestly, a lot of really great matches. If you're a fan of Ryung, Spirit, Time, Raynor's gonna be playing Astrea, Radata, Ragnarok, Zaun, Dream. A lot of high quality players tonight. So be sure to tune in, because we have plenty of StarCraft to come in 5 hours. Otherwise, if you cannot tune in live, then check us out on YouTube. We upload all of our VODs to YouTube, and I know the experience of watching VODs isn't the same as watching it live. I know there isn't as much excitement, potentially, but the games are quality, so I highly recommend checking out the VODs.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, even if you didn't know the results beforehand. A lot of fun to be had.
Definitely. And also, if people want to tune into Yaku, I know you've been on a bit of a hiatus recently. You've been focusing on your studies, but you're actually getting close to a break, which means ladder stream.
At least one this month. Yeah, I want to do at least one, because I want to test out. I made a mistake. Like, I updated OBS.
Oh no.
So I want to test out how. I want to test out how all of that works. I also got a new mouse, so I want to test out how that works in ladder. I mean, I laddered a little bit, but not quite to the same extent. So yeah, I want to do at least one this month. It'll probably happen 2 weeks from now, when I'm on my break, but we'll see. I'll announce when I go live over at twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1, over on my Twitter account, twitter.com @Empore Yakuzaku, or in Discord, !Discord. That will probably happen. So yeah, stay tuned to any of those if you want to see me suffer. But yeah, that's gonna be my stuff. I don't have any other socials. What about you, Light?
You can follow me at Light_VIP. I do stream every day of the week, throughout the week, other than Sundays. Sundays, we're busy casting. Same with Saturdays, usually, as well. You can tune in to the Master Smoger himself. We do struggle horribly on the ladder. If you're interested in that ladder gameplay. Papa Smurge, if you will. But yeah, so you can follow me there if you're interested. But again, follow us here in the CranKy Ducklings if you are enjoying our casting and if you want more of our casting. Again, our next broadcast is going to be World Team League, and this week, every day of the week, we have another cast available. It's either going to be a DreamHack Group Stage 2 cast or replay cast, or we also have, I believe, OSC season playoffs. We have a day scheduled for that as well. Yes, so we do have a lot of StarCraft going on. I may even have Yaku. I may drag him on again to cast one of these days if he's available, just because he's a little bit more free this week. A little bit more free.
Yeah. Wait, let's see. When do we play? Hold on. Yeah, I'll see. I was told that I need to be biased at least once.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, we'll try and squeeze something in there. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Until then, we will see you guys in 5 hours.
Yeah, we will see you then. In the meantime, vamos Argentina!
Messi, let's go!
Argentina, let's go! Messi de Maria.
We didn't do a Spanish intro. We forgot. All right, see you everyone soon. Until then, ciao.
Bella.